Snyder, Whedon, two of the most revolutionary directors in the past decades. Today, we prove why one is better than the other. In this death battle, 5 reasons why JOSStice League is better than the Snyder Cut. Okay, so number 5 would just have to be just the heroes in the movie. They're just so much worse in the Snyder Cut. Like, they ruined a lot of them.
Yeah, Whedon he handled these characters so much better. As a guy who knows, as we all know the comics, I'm sure you do too, they're just way better in the Joss Whedon version of Justice League.
Like, if, for example, we got Batman, right?
Yeah, start with the big man Batman.
Funny.
The big man.
In the Whedon cut, it's so good. He's a great character. He has those like romantic scenes with Wonder Woman. Like,
yeah, I mean, he's just like an interesting guy. He's a cool guy. You know, you all love him. Like,
cracking jokes.
Yeah,
exactly. Jokes. Like, this made me like Ben Affleck as Batman. But then
I hated
the Snyder cut, he's back to this like dark, depressing dude. Like, who wants to see Batman as like, yeah, he's with the team. He's with his pals. Like,
exactly.
He jokes. He's a funny dude.
Him and Wonder Woman
they
don't even like smash in this one.
I know, like, what? They just do the one scene with the mouse, which is pretty good, but, like, Joss Whedon really took that and made it way better, you know, that whole love story thing. Kind of like in Age of Ultron, how he did that with Bruce Banner and Black Widow. Like, that was amazing. We all love that.
Also, there's, like, Mara, you know? Amber Heard, she's such a good
she's a gem in Hollywood. Like, come on. Everyone loves Amber Heard. What would there be to hate about her? Yeah.
Now, Snyder, like a bastard, okay? He literally took Amber Heard. He was like, okay, we're going to make your character worse. So here's what he did. He was like, just have a stupid accent that nobody in Atlantis
What was that?
Like, she didn't have the accent in Aquaman or in the JOSStice League. So clearly Snyder just wanted to make some continuity errors.
Yep. I don't know what he was thinking there. All right, so Superman. Oh my God, Superman. Joss Whedon, I love this man. I love this man. Like, what was Snyder thinking? He gives him this stupid, gross black suit. Like, oh, we get it, Snyder. You're edgy. Oh my God.
3?
Oh my God.
Yeah,
like what? Like Superman has the symbiote. He has the symbiote. What is it?
Failed. You know why? Because of Venom. They didn't want to put Venom in the movie, but the executives forced them to put Venom in the movie, made the movie worse. That's what they're doing with Superman. Except, it's not a symbiote.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just Snyder's. It just doesn't.
Come on,
you know, Whedon understands the character because the opening scene of the film, they have Superman,
beautiful,
right?
Like, I was already crying. I was already crying when I heard
that.
The
kid's like, "Oh, look at that S," and he's like, "It's not an S. It means hope. Hope is like your car keys.
It is
easy to lose, but they're usually nearby. Like,
brilliant,
beautiful,
brilliant, just beautiful.
I wouldn't expect.
Why did Warner Bros. Hire Snyder in the first place? Whedon was their guy clearly from the beginning.
The
thing with Superman is, like, Whedon gave him this sick jaw. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but Superman's not human.
He's not human.
Exactly.
He's an alien. So
why would he have a normal jaw? It doesn't make any sense.
The weird jaw. We didn't do this, so he messed up his jaw.
Is Snyder stupid? Like, not thinking about that? Like, this. Looking at any comic or cartoon, does Superman look like he has a normal jaw? No, it's like, you know, he's an alien. He's a Kryptonian. Why would he look like a human?
Exactly. It just boggles the mind on how they made these decisions.
There is Cyborg, and basically, Whedon knew no one liked Cyborg. So, he put him in not that much of the movie. Even though he has great character development, he's not in it that much because not a lot of people like Cyborg. You know what Snyder said? I know the kids like them Teen Titans, so I'm going to make Cyborg literally have like an hour out of this 4-hour movie. That's like a quarter. It's probably even 2 hours of the 4-hour movie.
Doesn't make any sense.
I do not understand why they gave Cyborg so much screen time. And his dad? Like, I already don't give a shit.
I don't know. Snyder just seems to love boring characters. Boring Teen Titans. Like, this guy's not even a leaguer.
Forced to death.
Yeah. And then, who else is there? Oh my God, Flash? What did they do to my boy? What did Snyder do to the boy?
What did they do?
He gives him this weird scene with Iris. Like, what is he, some kind of creep?
Yeah.
And I like, didn't everyone love in the original when he's like, I don't do fight, like, and then Batman's like, save one person, like that was powerful.
That was inspirational. That inspired me.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know,
He's just
man.
a better character. He was a better character,
and he was a lot funnier too. But we'll get to that more later.
The last thing that Snyder did in terms of the heroes, he added this Green Man. Now I know some of you guys are like, "Oh, Green Lantern, let's go!" But no,
you wish. You
wish.
Martian Man. Who even is this?
Like, what is this? Martin Manhunter?
I've never heard of him in my life.
Martin, are you in this movie or something? Are you in this movie, buddy?
You holding back on us, Martin? Like, and it's not even like he had a
cool
part.
in my life.
All he did was talk to Lois. That's it.
Like, that didn't make any sense. Why would he be Superman's mom? Like, what? Why would he do that? Who cares about Lois Lane? Like, what is she? Like, this Snyder bullshit we got here?
And now she's pregnant with Bruce's child? I don't understand.
Oh, my, yeah, don't get started on this, what Snyder was planning. Thank God it's all canceled, man.
Exactly.
Okay, so number 4 is the fact the villains, right? Now, Steppenwolf in the JOSStice League was a phenomenal villain. Like, don't get me started on this
couldn't agree
because it was
more.
amazing. But
It was absolutely incredible.
His character arc, he was the sole villain, so he had like so much time to shine. He was jacked. No one could beat him except Superman. He was so OP, he was overpowered. He was amazing.
Yep, just how he should
Absolutely
be.
incredible.
How he should be.
Just absolutely busted.
Yeah.
Like, man, like when you saw that Steppenwolf on, man, like you were like shaking in your seat. Like, oh boy, he was utterly terrifying.
That's what we want to see in a Justice League villain. Someone like that. Someone with a good story.
Yeah, someone like
OP.
Someone
like beautiful.
Someone who could really stand on his own against the Justice
Chad
League.
energy. Just like
like they
exactly
godly guy.
Very relatable in the Justice League.
Yeah.
Number 1, he has mommy issues. Like a lot of people have it. Like, cause he's always rambling. He's like,
it speaks to society.
To society. We live in one of those. Now, basically, also they made him look humanoid, right? He basically just looks like a normal human. He looks like a guy you could see on the street just with bad skin. But like, you know, he's a human, so which makes him threatening because you're like, oh, I couldn't take this guy. But you know what they did in Snyder? He looks like an actual alien.
God.
He's a thick neck.
Oh my god.
And not only that, but in the Snyder cut, he's straight up ripping off Tony Stark's nano armor. Like, what the heck?
He's all prickly. Like, what is this guy? A cactus or something? Oh my god.
Don't like get me started
so
how
stupid.
when Steppenwolf gets mad in the Snyder cut, his armor like goes real spiky. Like to reflect his motions? What is that? That doesn't happen.
That doesn't make any sense.
No sense. What is he, a cactus or something? Come on.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Like, oh, I didn't know Justice League was filmed in the desert. Like, come on.
Like, Darkseid's also just like, you know.
Oh, but like, why is Darkseid in this movie?
He's a Thanos ripoff. He just wants to get the
no one likes Darkseid. He's a Thanos ripoff. First of all, let's clear the waters here.
Yeah, and what is this anti-life equation? Math?
Yeah, like what?
Math?
Like, I don't want
fucking math.
I don't want math in my superhero movies.
Out of here,
get the heck out of here,
Snyder, buddy.
Stupid.
And like Darkseid's just shit. He just gets fucking beat up by like freaking Zeus. Like Percy Jackson.
Instead, that was Steppenwolf in the Whedon cut, and it made him even cooler.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Exactly.
It actually makes sense. I'm like, oh, now we have to care about this stupid Thanos kid knockoff.
He doesn't even fight. He doesn't even
do anything. He just stares at them at the end like, whoa, with freaking Granny goodness. Oh my god, a Granny goodness side. Oh, don't get me started on this side. Oh my god, we don't have the time for that.
Thanos as well.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so number 3 would have to be the family. Now, Joss Whedon, what an amazing director he is. He knew that this movie would have such high tension that everybody would be scared. So we needed relatable, very relatable characters. Like Steppenwolf's already super relatable, but like we needed human relatable characters. So
yeah, you need the people.
The Russian family. Now, I don't know if you've seen this, but in OG Avengers, the original Avengers movie, there's deleted scenes of like civilians and like Cap saves them and shit. It's like he finally got to realize that vision in this movie.
Yeah.
The family, they're so amazing. Like Russian number 1.
Yeah,
they're Russian. That's OP. They're like super OP. Like there's like 4 of them, I think.
They got like this.
They're really good characters, honestly. Like in the short time they have to develop, I like them. You know,
they got like this little house, and they're like boarding up all the windows from like,
them. Like
yeah, it's like you feel like their tension, like how scared they are of like of the scenario they're being thrown into. Really puts you into like the scene, because like obviously not everyone can like fly and like has like super speed.
Yeah,
exactly.
This puts us into the position of what it's like to actually be in that thing. It really puts you into that mindset.
It's a superhero movie. The superheroes gotta save people. Like what do they do in the Snyder Cut? Just run around and fight some bad guys.
Now,
wow.
Think about
what are they saving?
Think about this. As soon as Superman shows up, right, in the final battle, he starts kicking Steppenwolf's ass, right? Because he's Superman. He's busted. It's fine. But they knew that the fight was going to end too quick. So in the Whedon cut, Superman realizes that family's there. And he's like, yo, Flash, come with me. We got to go save them. So it takes Superman away from the fight to extend the fight scene longer so he can keep beating up on Aquaman and Wonder Woman and Cyborg. And then, it extends the fight. Superman comes back. He delivers a beautiful line, which we're going to talk about later in terms of humor. And he's like, this guy's still bothering you? And then, he beats him up. And, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's just it's a perfect final battle scene. The family just makes it so much better, honestly. It just feels so dull without them.
I absolutely agree.
Okay, so number 2, I hope you're sitting down for this one, is the humor in the JOSStice League. It's just so much better than Snyder's. Don't even get me started on it.
Don't even get us started. That's you. Go ahead.
We all love Marvel movies, but the Marvel MCU humor, it's kind of like, it's not always, it doesn't always hit. But Joss Whedon. This my boy.
This man is a comedy genius. This man is a comedy genius. For example, the brunch joke. I'm already laughing just thinking about how funny it is. You stand in line for an hour for essentially lunch, because that's exactly what brunch is. It's not it's basically lunch. The masterworks that must have went in his head to come up with a joke as brilliant as that. It's so amazing. It makes you feel like the Flash, absolutely.
Exactly, it truly does. Mm-hmm. Now, there's a bunch of Batman's amazing lines, right?
Batman's they turned Batman funny. Only Whedon could do something that brilliant.
Exactly.
I know. He's all I'm Batman, right? Yeah, that's how you think of Batman. But this Batman, is Batman, funny. He's really funny.
Christian Bale, you laugh at him because of his stupid voice. This guy's actually funny. You're laughing with him.
He was talking to Wonder Woman in that scene about why they shouldn't bring back Superman, and she's like, people who are dead should be dead. And then, Batman says something along the lines of, did Steve Trevor tell you that? That's amazing delivery. Killer Batman. That's hilarious.
Let's go.
And then, Wonder Woman pushed him into, a box. That's funny. Slapstick.
And then at one point, he's like, sorry, I didn't bring a sword. That's just funny. I'm not even gonna explain that one. It's just
and then the line where he talks to Aquaman about talking to fish or something.
He says it not once but twice. The first time it was funny, and then he brings it up again later in the movie. It's oh my god, brilliant!
Absolutely brilliant.
Now you didn't mention one thing about Steppenwolf in the previous one, and it's the fact that he's tall, which makes him very menacing. Now in Snyder, they just kind of left that hanging, that's great material.
They didn't even comment on it.
Whedon took that and he made Batman say he is tall. How does he do it?
It's funny because he's this tall dude.
How is he so genius? He's an absolute genius,
dude. I'm sure if Whedon wasn't a director, he'd be a stand-up comedian.
I absolutely agree.
1,000%. Now, there's also the scene with Aquaman on the ship. They're flying to the final battle. Aquaman, he's sitting on Wonder Woman's lasso. He starts revealing the truth.
Oh my god, I was dead. I was
dead too. He was talking, he was saying some funny stuff. He's like, oh, I hate you, you're hot. He said stuff along those lines. And that was funny.
Oh my god.
And as that line keeps going, you realize something's a little wrong. And then he gets up and he was sitting on the lasso. And then everybody in the theater was dead from laughter.
That reminds me of that scene during the fight scene where Flash lands on Wonder Woman's chest, and I was when I was watching the Snyder Cut, I was I really hope that that's in this movie. I knew it was Whedon, but I was hoping that Snyder at least did one.
At least had the common sense to keep that joke in.
But it was before, but yeah.
It was quite clearly Whedon because he's a masterful director.
Of course that was Whedon. Of course that was a lot of jokes. A lot of jokes. I was
jokes. They reuse them, and that was previously seen in Age of Ultron.
Yeah, and it was hilarious then.
Yeah,
it's hilarious
now. It still hits today.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And then like Flash's face when he gets up, it's just Ezra Miller. He does like that funny little face. Props to him.
Man. Number one, this is the final reason, the biggest reason as to why
the big one,
JOSStice League is better than stupid Snyder cut. It is the fact that in the fight, as soon as Superman gets revived, brought back from the dead, he asks Batman, "Do you bleed?" Now this sent shivers down my spine when I watched it. Okay,
exactly.
Because if you don't remember, in Batman versus Superman, Batman says the same thing to Superman when he's trying to beat him up. He's like, "Do you bleed?" And then Superman flies away, and Batman says, "You will." Right? Like,
I love that. You know what? I'll give it to Snyder. That was a really good line in BVS. I'll give it to Snyder.
Yeah, fair enough.
Does a callback, which is just as good, if not better, because Batman. Then
I liked it better in this movie. Batman
retaliates it with a, "Yup, something's definitely bleeding."
Oh my! Like back to the humor. It's just
back to the humor.
That's definitely the best line. I'm not just gonna say in JOSStice League. I'm gonna say in cinema. It's not just superhero cinema. In cinema history. In cinema history. That's my favorite line in cinema history.
Like, not only is it hilarious, but the whole scene in general just does a great job in like calling back to the bigger story that the DCU is telling. Like, it truly is an incredible
genius.
It's
the
genius.
Story of two men fighting. Do you bleed? It's the center of everything.
It's like the tables have been turned. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I wouldn't be surprised if Whedon did Batman v Superman, if Flash would have said, "Do you bleed?" is the key instead of Lois. Like, it's just that good.
It's that great.
Yeah.
And Snyder cut that scene out. Like, it wasn't in the Snyder cut because he didn't film it, obviously. He didn't write that. Whedon wrote it.
Yeah, well, Snyder wasn't brilliant enough to think about it, obviously.
So he didn't put it in. It's just
Whedon knew.
Whedon knew what was up, man. He is one of the greatest directors and writers
of all
time. If not the.
All right. That's all for this one. This was a joke in case you haven't realized. Don't kill us in the comments like the Fortnite one.
But obviously, no one's gonna get to this part of the video anyways.
Yeah. So we're gonna get a lot of hate.
for the 5 of you that are here, congratulations. Yep. You now understand the context of
we do think Snyder is better than Whedon.
Yes, I actually really did like the Snyder cut. And
if I were to rate them out of 10, I'd probably give the Whedon cut like a 1 and the Snyder cut like a 2.
That's completely. I mean, the Whedon one, I'd probably agree with, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, Mark here hasn't even seen either of the movies.